The Government Advisory Board, at the end of the day, is a set of 7 human beings who are incredibly mission-focused. And they want to give back to the government that they have served, in many cases at the highest of levels. My name is Nick Sinai. I'm a partner here at Insight. We have hundreds of companies that are growing globally, and a number of them are doing business with the US federal government or state and local government. I felt that we could use additional insights from folks who had long careers in government and in military service.
My name is General Joe Votel. I'm retired U.S. Army military officer.
My name is Jack Shanahan, retired United States Air Force. I served for 36 years in uniform, ended up in the Pentagon as a 3-star general before I retired, starting 2 AI organizations.
My name is Essie Miller. I'm a retired federal senior executive. I spent 35 years with the Department of Defense with a career spanning information technology, information management, and cybersecurity. I retired as the Principal Deputy Chief Information Officer for the Department of Defense.
My name is Tim Hawk. I'm a retired general in the United States Air Force that was proud to serve at all levels of intelligence and cyber throughout both the armed forces and the intelligence community, ultimately culminating in my position as the director of the National Security Agency, the commander of U.S. Cyber Command.
I'm Will Roper. I'm a part-time professor at Georgia Tech, founder and CEO of my own startup, and recently left U.S. government service as the acquisition executive for the U.S. Air Force and U.S. Space Force.
My name is Nicole Wong. I specialize in advising high-growth, high-technology companies, primarily in the area of international regulation for privacy and content. I was previously the Deputy U.S. Chief Technology Officer during the Obama administration.
The diligence that Insight does in looking at the portfolio companies that it serves and the customers and clients that ultimately those companies serve, I think, is about getting it right and doing the right thing. And I think the Government Advisory Board is largely about doing that. We're bringing people in who have a wide array of expertise and can really help the company and by extension the portfolio companies understand the environment that they're operating in so they can make the biggest impact in the very fastest way possible.
It was partly because I do love companies at this stage in their life cycle, and I think that Insight has done such a great job of finding those companies, the ones that are really compelling. There's usually some public service mission embedded in them, and that resonated with me a great deal.
I think where we've seen the portfolio companies, where I've had the experience of interacting with them, where they've taken full advantage of the Government Advisory Board, is also really to use us as a testing board of ideas, approaches, that leverage our expertise of having made many of these decisions and be able to give them some thoughts on how to approach problems that leaders are dealing with in a way that is going to be digestible from the government side while they're bringing forth some really cool technology in ways that could be really impactful.
All of these companies come with some kind of technology. They have an idea from their founder and co-founder, the CEO, CTO, COO, of what they think this can do for the government, but a lot of times they haven't quite got the experience to say, what is the operational context? That is how you make the two things together.
This inside baseball knowledge you pick up from within government service is often what companies are needing. The path to programs of record, which are recurring revenue, are harder to spot. Everything seems like it's a growing opportunity, but few are. I think that's the area that I'm probably most helpful, is knowing when to say no and look for another opportunity.
We had a company that was interested in doing some work on, let's say, public key infrastructure, but not quite sure how to work with DISA. So to sit down and do a one-on-one of here's what the organization looks like, here's how they operate, here's where you need to target your conversations, and here are the rules and regulations that go along with that. It becomes a little less mysterious for them and helps them shape their strategy much better.
Piece of advice I'd have for a CEO or a founder is to remember that the government isn't monolithic. It has many different parts. But what that means is that there are many different entries when you're trying to figure out how can you understand the government either as a customer or as your regulator. And so really thinking about what aspect of the government you're engaging with and what the most productive paths forward are is useful as thinking through your own business plans and your strategies.
So my advice would be to jump in. The water's fine. You got to get started someplace, and you can't just sit back and admire the problems. So you got to be willing to go out and understand what organizations are doing, what they're dealing with, what their problems are, and then how you can solve those. As an operational commander, that's what I was looking for. I was looking for people who come in and help me solve problems so I can move on, accomplish the mission, and move on to the next task that we had.
These are folks who have devoted a significant part or their entire careers to public service, to military service. And so I'm just deeply appreciative of the careers that they've led and their willingness to give back, to spend time with us, to spend time with our investment teams, with on-site, with our portfolio companies, to come to our events and really engage with us.